Died in 1910, the year the Great Railroad came to Two Trees, and the year that Halley's Comet tore through the night sky. Not more than half a dozen persons showed up to the funeral for old Barracuda, but among them, an earnest reporter, hoping for a human interest story, keen to find truth behind the legends that the old man had been something of a gunfighter in the early days. Well, the mourners tiptoed in. One by one, they filed past the coffin that contained the body of the old man. Old Bert Barracuda, who had been nothing, a nobody. Well, I never. Blossoms of the prickly pear, cactus flowers.
Seems suitable somehow for the old man. Flowers that grow on a prairie wasteland.
Well, I guess. Free if you want to pick them. Excuse me, Senator? But I beg your pardon, but, and please forgive my rudeness for coming upon you at such a time of suffering.
Speak your piece.
Well, I am a writer, sir, for the Chronicle here in town. It's a modest paper that would benefit most greatly from an article featuring a man of your political importance. Obituary is there, just, but
I'd be happy to give you a word for your paper, mister.
Oh, Doubt, sir, Jake Doubt.
If you'll excuse me, I'll take this moment to sit, as I'm rather weird for myself.
Did you come all the way from Washington, sir?
I did indeed.
And the purpose of your visit to Two Trees?
Funeral, Mr. Barracuda.
Indeed, a long way to travel. It would certainly interest my readers to know the nature of your relationship with the deceased.
He was a friend of mine for many years.
Oh, and when was the last time you saw him?
20 years ago. The last time I was in Two Trees. Stood right here in the saloon.
Fascinating. Who was this old man, Senator Foster? Who had he been? Congress was still in session, and Foster had come all the way from Washington. Why would he bother for an old wreck like Bert Barracuda? he could never give the true answer. He was my enemy. He was my conscience. He made me whatever I have become.
Yelling about? You just go see what Bert wants Joe before he yells the goddamn soul in.
Joe!
Lord.
Get his feet!
Whoa, Bert! Does this look like a hospital to you?
Give it a rest, Jackson. I didn't have no trouble pushing bar. 1, 2, 3, up. Oh! Good Lord.
Now you listen here.
Get his ass up there.
If you bleed on my bar, I will personally see the end of your life. You hear me?
You know, he ain't been conscious for some time.
Well, who is he?
I don't know. I found him a couple hours ride north of the territory. Looked like he'd taken one hell of a beating.
All right, Joe. How about you go and fetch the doc? I'll see if I can clean some of this muck off of him.
Look well, Jackson.
You not? Bert, this ain't no time for courting now.
I'm just trying to entertain you all.
Yeah, how about you entertain yourself by getting some fresh water and hand me a bottle of that whiskey.
Why don't you leave that to the
The
doc?
whiskey ain't for this fool.
All right.
Come on.
Here. How you know, when I found him, he's lying out there half dead, sunburnt, blistering, bruised. I says to him, I'm going to get you up there in my cell. You reckon you can stay up there on it? And he opens just one eye, almost cocks a smile. If I can, he says, if I can't, shoot me.
Well, that might have been kinder than dragging him all the way back into town to die here.
Oh, he ain't gonna die.
You wait till the doc gets his hands on him.
You know, your place is looking real nice, Jackson.
Good Lord. You're just dying to compliment something, ain't you? I must not be seeing right. I reckon this place is still a dump, and I ain't any prettier now I'm covered in this dude's blood than I were before, yet here you are saying how well I look and how nice my place is. Why not get it over with and write me a damn poem, Bert?
All right, Allie, I can see now ain't the time.
Yeah, you don't say. Do we have any idea who this fella is?
Well, I did find a few letters in his pack here.
Oh, Jesus, Bert, don't make me pretend and read them. Just tell me what they say.
Well, this one here is addressed to Mr. Foster. Oh, hey, I also found this.
A Bible?
It's a logbook.
What does he want with a law book out here?
I don't know, he's transporting a small library. All kinds of books in here.
Doc ain't coming.
What?
Says he's too busy with the man. That man is damn near useless. Says to keep the wounds clean and get water in them. If he's still alive by sunset, he might come and have a look. Well, I'm damned if I'm going to have him lying here all day.
Hey, Joe, you got any more of that hot sauce you were serving up with them sausages?
I kept a couple of bottles for myself.
How about you fetch one out? Now this here is a bona fide, guaranteed hangover remedy from old Tom Donovan himself. There you go. Now if this don't work, well, he's lost already. Joe, go ahead and pick up his head there. I don't want to bring him around. I don't want to drown him. I'd stand back if I was you. Up, down the hatch, Mr. Foster. Whoa! Would you look at that?
I reckon that doctor's getting paid way too much.
Water!
Oh, I'm getting
Regular miracle, wouldn't you say, Reverend?
Water! That I would on me. That I would. I'm coming.
Ah, my throat! Ah! Your throat? In a couple hours, it won't be your throat. You're worried about that stuff will burn a hole right through your ass. You want me to shoot you after all?
No. There's something I want to do
first. Ain't doing anything anytime soon.
Get in my chair.
You were lucky to be alive.
Yeah, well, I don't feel so lucky.
Well, if Bert hadn't found you lying out there, you would be frozen by now.
Well, you know, I'm not so sure he was worth the effort. Now, I had to walk him a half an hour on the saddle just to get the water. And God knows, you know, I hate walking.
Mr. Foster, is it?
Yeah,
Want some?
ransom. Rance.
What you doing out this way, Ransom Foster? I'm guessing with that accent, this ain't your normal locale.
I was heading west.
Well, you've arrived. How you finding it so far?
Where are you from?
New York.
We. You have come a long way.
God knows why. What are you looking for here, Foster?
Other than sunburn and a broken jaw.
I'm not sure.
Fame and fortune, perhaps? Ain't that why everyone comes west?
Like I said, I'm not sure.
Well, perhaps you'll know it once you've found it, Mr. Foster.
What's that?
Your purpose.
Purpose?
Yeah, like becoming a punching bag. Looks like you can take quite a beating. What?
What happened out there, Foster? Why are you in this shape?
Like he says, I took a beating.
You asked for it?
What?
You deserve it? You shoot your mouth off? You try and cheat someone?
No, I didn't deserve it.
You know, I gotta respect a man. Put his hands up and take responsibility after a fight.
You ever take responsibility, Barricade?
You know what? If I'm in the wrong and I have it coming, you damn right. I'll hold my hands up.
I'd like to see that.
I didn't throw any punches.
None at all?
Not once. Even after you'd been hit the first time.
No.
That's where you went wrong.
So what happened?
I tried to stand up for an old guy. He was getting pushed around by a group of men up alongside the road as it came past.
Well, that sure sounds like asking for it in my book.
What they want from him?
I don't know, it looked like sport.
Sport.
And the wrong kind of sport. He was a black man. The old fella, he was colored. Looked like it was going the wrong way, the wrong kind of fun.
Regular Good Samaritan.
And they turned on me, I guess they must have made a run for it.
How'd you get away?
I guess they reckoned I was dead enough.
Well, you would have been if I hadn't found it.
So you keep saying.
Now listen, Mr. Foster. I ain't in the habit of putting myself in the line of fire. I need to know if there's any chance these fellas might come looking for you here.
No one's looking for me.
Well, there's that at least.
Yeah, but I am looking for someone.
You see that, Bert? I've seen that look before. That right there is a look a man gets right before he goes out and gets himself shot.
Well, no one around here is going to help you look for any trouble.
It ain't trouble I'm after. Why don't you send for the sheriff? We'll start there.
Well, yeah, fat lot of good he'll do you. But I will send for the marshal. That'll ease your soul. Well, Jackson, I will bid my farewell.
Oh, well, my heart bleeds to see you go.
You know, I meant what I said earlier. Thought you looking pretty. Take it or leave it.
Yeah? Well, you look like a sack of old horse manure, Barracoon. Now get out before you start spouting daisies and puking daffodils.
Reverend?
All the best to you, Mr. Barracoon. You feeling any better, Mr. Foster?
Some?
Well, so long as it don't kill you, a beating can be good for a fella. Can toughen him up in the long run.
Say so. It's your place?
Sure is. The Prairie Belle. Ain't much, but it keeps the pennies coming in and the rain off our heads.
Quite something for a girl your age. How'd you secure the funds to get a place like this?
My folks ran it for years before they were taken.
Cherokee?
Cherokee! Oh, you really ain't been this way before, have you? Oh, you believe everything you read in them storybooks of yours? Cherokee. No, it were smallpox took my mom and pop.
You got all this?
No one else to leave it to. My brothers were all killed. And before you ask, you weren't by no Cherokee neither. They got drunk, they got angry, and they got themselves shot. Drunk man may be foolish. He may be arrogant, but a drunk man is not a coward. He forgets to be afraid. He forgets that he ain't a gunslinger from the legends, that he ain't the fastest shot in the West. He forgets that right up to the moment he hits the dirt. So you remember that. If it's vengeance you're after, no one will warn if you're shot full of lead. You won't be the first, you won't be the last. You want something to eat?
What you got?
Well, we got rice, and we got beans, and hey, we got the house special, rice and beans.
Any meat to go with that?
You take issue with horse meat,
Do not.
and there's some meat I can mix in.
But please, hold the sauce. Burned and blistered from the inside in.
Oh, you'll get used to that. The sun here's hot, but the sauce is hotter. Reverend, how about you go and fry up some of that old mare and mix it in with the beans?
Any for you, miss?
Not for me, Reverend. I can't abide eating an animal with personality.
Well, the minister works at the saloon.
Joe, she ain't no minister.
You call her Reverend.
Do I? Well, what do you know? Afternoon, Marshal.
Miss Jackson? So this must be the tenderfoot.
Yeah, careful of this one, Marshal. He's a learned man harboring an agenda.
Is that so?
He's got himself a law book. He'll be after your job if you ain't careful.
Oh, a lawman, is it?
I am no lawman, sir.
Seems from what I heard you ain't so good at defending yourself, let alone the town.
Rest assured, I have no intentions of running for your office. As soon as I'm fully restored, I'll continue my journey west. As soon as I'm fully restored and my attacker has been reprimanded.
And that's why you summoned me.
That is correct.
Well, in that case, I'm gonna need a drink, and then I'll hear your piece, Miss Jackson.
One drink. Any more, I'll need to see some coin.
So tell me, what is it you want?
I was attacked on the prairie.
Sir?
Is that against the law around here?
Well, it certainly isn't customary. Who was it?
I don't know them. It was 3 men. The boss was a greasy looking thing. Black hair, scar across his face. Dead eye.
I know the man.
And?
And what?
Well, Jesus Christ, what's his name?
The man that attacked you was Liberty Valance. Valance and a couple of his boys. Just what's your complaint now? They rob you?
No, they didn't search me.
Take your gun.
I didn't have one.
Steal your horse?
They struck him with a quirt. He ran off.
So they didn't take anything at all. Nothing at all from you. In that case, I can't see that you got a legal complaint. Where was this?
I don't know.
North. Bert found him just north of the territory.
So you don't even know what jurisdiction it was in. Knocked you around. Now, that could happen to anyone. Man gets into a fight. Maybe says something out of line. Gets into a fight. Now, that could happen to anyone. Did he even draw his weapon?
He struck me with his quirt.
But he didn't draw his gun.
Why would he? I was unarmed.
Sound like a fair fight to me.
Oh, 3 against 1. How's that fair?
Well, perhaps you best learn to weigh up the odds before getting yourself into trouble.
Jesus Christ. Thanks a
All
lot.
right, that's enough. You've had your whiskey, Marshal. You best be getting along now. I do not want any more blood on my floor.
Right you are, Miss Jackson. Thanks for the drinks. Much obliged. You know, son, there's a reward out for balance.
Yeah?
You don't need to hear about it, Marshal.
Reward for what?
Oh, it's just a small bounty.
Don't fill your head with these ideas, Foster. Won't nothing good come of it. You mark my words.
Miss Jackson,
Does he come here often? Balance?
into 2 trees. No, it's nothing for a man like Balance to want here in 2 trees. You want him to come looking for you. Well, he ain't gonna come after you here. Beat you up once pretty good. He won't come after that again.
You'd be a certified fool to ride out there looking for him. No, I wouldn't put it past you.
What's your name, son?
Ransom Foster.
Listen, Foster, I've got a fair collection of confiscated items. Revolvers. Now, the good ones I keep for myself. But I wouldn't mind sharing one of the older models with you, for a small fee, of course. I mean, even a pea shooter would be better than your bare hands if you ran into trouble. I tell you what, you come by my office when you're feeling up to it. I'll sort you out.
Thank you, Marshal. Thank you, Miss Jackson.
Have it. Now get this down you and see if that don't give you some strength. Now listen, Mr. Foster, I don't do boredom. If you intend to stay the night in Two Trees, and I wouldn't advise riding out after sunset, you best make some arrangements.
What rooms are there in town?
Well, there's the Elite, just across the way. Now, the rooms ain't so clean, and the whiskey's well watered, but it's reasonably priced. And for an extra couple bucks, you could spend the night with one of the girls, though they ain't no cleaner than the rooms.
As tempting as that sounds.
And you'll be wanting these back.
You go through all my stuff?
Just enough to get an idea of who he was.
And what was your conclusion?
I ain't sure yet. Have you read all these?
I have.
And you understand them?
You ever read a book, Miss Jackson?
Never learned to read. Never saw no point in it.
You never wanted to discover stories, adventures beyond your own life?
I got plenty of adventure, Mr. Foster.
What about seeing the world, or discovering a distant land right here in these pages? Or discovering people?
There's plenty of people here in Two Trees.
Hey, but what about people who lived centuries ago? People unlike any you've ever met.
If you say so. What's that one?
Ah, this is an old one. It's Greek.
What?
Well, it's written in Greek.
Jesus Christ. As if reading American weren't hard enough. You've got too much time on your hands, miss.
English.
Excuse me?
Reading in English, not American. Well, we speak, read, and write in English. No such language as American.
Well, good Lord, don't I look stupid? You tell me something, Mr. Foster. If I were to call you an arrogant bastard, and you understand my meaning that you are what I'm calling you, what difference does it make? What name you give the goddamn language?
Very little difference, Miss Jackson, very little.
For that matter, I have seen men who don't speak a word of the same language have a whole damn conversation. Getting a smack to the face or a fist in the gut holds universal meaning.
Would you care to hear any English, Miss Jackson?
If it ain't the words thanks, miss, and I'll be on my way, leaving you to get on with your business. Now cover your table in blood and dirt. I ain't interested.
Well, then I'll finish up and be out of your way. Thank you, Miss Jackson.
All right.
Well, Mr. Foster,
Reverend Joe?
if you don't mind awfully, sir, I'd be very grateful to hear some English.
You would you?
Yes, sir.
Well, why don't you pour me another cup of that coffee and I'll pick out a passage for you. Have you ever heard of Shakespeare?
No, sir.
Oh. Then we'll start there. Everyone deserves to hear Shakespeare at least once in their life. Aha. No longer mourn for me when I am dead. Then you shall hear the surly sullen bell give warning to the world that I am fled from this vile world with the vilest worms to dwell. Nay, if you read this line, remember not the hand that writ it, for I love you so that I in your sweet thoughts would be forgot. If thinking on me then should make you woe. Oh, if I say you look upon this verse, when I perhaps compounded am with clay, but let your love even with my life decay, lest the wise world should look into your moan, and mock you with me after I am gone.
Oh, Mr. Foster.
Do you like it, Reverend?
It's very beautiful, sir.
Do you understand it?
I believe I do, sir. He don't want her to think on him when he dead, because it'll make her sad. For I love you so that I in your sweet thoughts would be forgotten, if thinking on me then should make you woe.
How did you do that?
Sir?
You remembered it word for word, having only heard it once.
always been able to do it. I just hear something and it finds a place in my head and stays there.
And how long does it stay there?
Well, I don't know. I've not lived long enough to find out.
You mean you don't forget it? You hear something once and it stays with you forever? Do you realize what people would give for a gift like that?
Never really come in handy for me, sir. No practical use for it.
Well, maybe not here, but in the cities, in schools and universities. Knowledge is power, Reverend. The man who knew everything. Does it work with reading as well?
I don't know. I never learned to read.
Well, Jesus Christ, you better well have.
No place or time for it around here.
You see all these books? Can you imagine holding all of those words up here in your mind? You know, I damn near break my neck toting these books from one town to the next. Will they be all there? What a blessing.
A blessing. Oh, well, blessed is he who has regard for the weak. The Lord delivers him in times of trouble. The Lord will protect him and preserve his life.
Where did you learn that?
Every Sunday at church I listen and it stays. I've near got the whole thing up here now.
And that's why they call you the Reverend.
Yes, sir. On account I can recite scripture better than a minister.
You should be putting the skill to use. Yeah, someone like you shouldn't be scrubbing floors. A woman like you should be putting the skill to good use.
The people don't want to hear the Lord's voice from a Negro. Round here, a person like me meant for scrubbing floors.
Well, then get out of here. Go somewhere. Get educated. Jesus Christ, if I could remember half of what I've read and heard.
Beg your pardon, Mr. Foster. There ain't no place for me to get an education. You know that, sir. My being able to remember don't change what I am. No one would give me an education.
I refuse to believe that.
Then you teach her, Foster.
Miss Helen.
You teach her how to read, Foster. You help her to get out of here.
No, Miss Helen, no, I'm not trying to get out of nowhere, Miss
You
Helen.
are a damn fool. Don't you hear the man? You got something special. A gift, he says. Don't turn your back on that.
I don't want to turn my back on you neither.
I can do without you. If you can make a better life for yourself, and if that means getting out of 2 trees, then you do it. You go. You go with my blessing. What do you say, Mr. Foster?
I ain't making any guarantees.
I heard you, Mr. Foster. She could scholar herself. All she needs to do is learn how to read. She can get educated.
Well, sure she could, but maybe I'm not
You'll
the right.
stay here. Room and board till you can find something more permanent. It won't cost you nothing except your time and your
Yeah,
patience.
but you don't do boarding.
That I do not. There's a camp bed in the storeroom. It ain't pretty, but it's dry and it's clean.
What do you say, Reverend?
I would like to hear some more of that Shakespeare.
Tell it to me again.
No longer mourn for me when I am dead. Then you shall hear the surly sullen bell give warning to the world that I have fled from this vile world with vilest worms to dwell.
All right, Miss Jackson. On one condition. You learn with her.
No way, Foster.
Ah, you both learn or I'm on the first stage out.
What use would I have in learning?
Well, why don't you learn, read your first book, and I'll ask you the same question.
And what answer will I give?
Well, you'll probably call me a time-wasting son of a bitch, but I'd love to prove you wrong.
All right, Mr. Foster. You got yourself a deal. It's polite to do the same. We can work on that.
And so, Ransom Foster did not leave 2 trees as planned. He found himself at home in this little town. As passed, he settled further and further into his new life. A job as a clerk down his general store came up. Rance put himself forward. Now, overqualified though he might have been, the numeracy kept his mind active and distracted from the heat and monotony of small-town life. Well, the word spread of the lessons he was providing, and soon enough, strangers from the town came forward and asked to learn the language that they spoke. The first school west of Barrel Canyon, where anyone was welcome to learn.
When in disgrace, with fortune in men's eyes, I alone beweep my outcast state, and trouble deaf heaven with my bootless cries, and look upon myself and curse my fate, wishing me like to one more rich in hope, featured like him with friends possessed, desiring this man's art and that man's scope, with what I most enjoy contended least. Yet in these thoughts, myself almost despising, haply I think on thee, and then my state. Like to the lark at break of day arising, from sullen earth sings hymns at heaven's gate. For thy sweet love remembered, such wealth brings that then I scorn to change my state with kings.
Not too bad at all, Miss Howard. Not too bad at all.
May I sit now?
You may. Now, tell me, Miss Hallie, do you understand the meaning of this sonnet?
You asked me to recite it, Mr. Foster. We're nothing in the rules about understanding the meaning of it.
Well, aren't you curious?
Curious?
Well, all these words have to mean something. They're not just thrown together to sound nice.
And did I get them all right?
More or less.
Then I have succeeded in my test and my commitment to learning.
All right, I'm going to write out a copy of this sonnet. I'm going to leave it here in the saloon. I want you all to come by and study it. Next time we sit down together, I'm going to ask its meaning. And we'll leave it there for today.
All right, then. Clear out, you lot. I got to get this place ready to open. Joe, how about you go down to the store before it closes?
Oh, let me help you get this straight first.
That's all right. No, I got it. Mr. Foster can give me a hand if needs be.
Oh, all right then, Miss Hallie, you read nicely today.
You don't need to humor me, Joe. You're the scholar here. Only use of my learning is so as I can read what's in a sack before I open it. I'll no longer be opening sacks of rice when I'm after beans.
Well, it was nice to hear you read proper.
You go on.
She's right, you know.
What now?
Well, when you read, it's nice.
Is it now, and why is that?
Well, you can try and hide it all you want, but you can't disguise that look in your eye.
Bull.
That twinkle right there, that's enjoyment. Happiness. Perhaps even a little pride.
I'm learning because you made me.
The sonnet. What's the meaning?
I told you, I don't know its meaning, nor do I care its meaning.
Joe's made incredible progress.
That she has.
She's fast becoming an educated woman. Perhaps before long, my job here will be done.
Perhaps.
And then I guess I'll continue my journey west.
So that's it? Just fulfill your promise and straight out of town?
There's not going to be much of anything for me here, is there?
Guess not. Guess you're right.
Hey, the sonnet, Hallie.
Jesus Christ, what are you pushing for? I told you I don't know.
Yeah, Bert's not been around much recently.
No.
Why is that?
Am I his keeper?
Seems like he's disappeared is all.
Bearcoon's a cowboy. Goes where the work is, comes back once he's made enough cash to see him through for a while.
The life of a cowboy. It's romantic.
I guess that depends on your definition of romance.
Well, it's a romantic notion. To wander the earth freely wherever the wind takes
Oh,
you.
of course it's romantic if you put it like that. You can shine up any situation with a bit of metaphor and word.
Ooh, so you have been listening.
You know what?
Metaphor.
Yeah, I listened to some of what you said.
I'm glad.
No matter how useless it might be.
Useless.
You said yourself, as soon as Joe's ready, you're leaving. What's the use in all this?
You'd be sorry to see me leave?
What kind of question is that? People come and go through this town all the time.
Will you?
Well, I ain't gonna lie, it's been nice having the place lively for a change.
I'll settle for that. Hey, have you ever thought about selling up and moving on?
Where would I move?
I don't know, west?
I'm already west. Any further west is just more of the same.
Okay, east.
Oh, can you imagine me in the east? Small town girl in the big city, like something out of one of your storybooks? What would I do in the east?
Well, you could do what you do here, but with greater potential. Just think. Western hospitality in the city.
People go to the cities to get away from Western hospitality.
Yeah, but
Besides-
think about all the things you could do in the city. The theater, art, ballet, museums.
What would I get from any of that?
Happiness.
I'm perfectly happy here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You ever been to the theater?
I've been to the rodeo. I saw Buffalo Bill perform.
I'm not talking about that kind of theater. I'm talking about the real theater where real actors perform those words on a stage.
No, I haven't.
Well, would you like
I
to?
don't know. I guess.
Hey. Next Saturday in Longacre. Now, they're not going to be as good as the players in New York, but it'll be unlike any damn rodeo.
I ain't sure.
Hey, Joe can look after the bar. We'll take the stage in the evening and travel back after the show.
That is an awful lot of effort for a
You
show.
won't regret it, I guarantee.
All right then, Mr. Foster. I'll come with you. But I ain't making any promises I'll enjoy it.
Still pretending it don't excite you.
What? This ain't pretense.
Poetry, drama, stories. You know, you'd find it much more enjoyable if you just enjoyed them rather than dismissed them all the time.
Got some nerve. I just agreed to go with you, didn't I?
For which I am truly grateful. But you don't have to hide your excitement, not from me.
Wait one goddamn minute,
Whoa,
Mr. Foster.
Hallie.
I don't know why you presume to
Hallie.
think that what?
I'm teasing you is all.
You're trying to wind me up?
I'm afraid so.
Goddamn schoolyard with you. Ain't always teasing, chasing the girls around, throwing muck at her rather than just say that you like
Well,
her.
in a school, I presume the schoolyard approach most suitable.
This is a saloon, not a school, and you are a grown man, Foster. Now, I have agreed to go with you to the show, have I not?
Yes, Miss Jackson.
That was the desired outcome of our conversation.
Yes,
was it
Miss
not?
Jackson.
And our business has concluded for the day, has it not?
Yes, Miss Jackson.
Get on your way, Foster.
Well, I'd hope to stay and have a drink if that's all right.
As you please. Give Joy your coin when she gets back. Help yourself for the time being.
Hallie,
What is it, Ransom?
on Saturday evening, perhaps you might consider wearing something more suitable to the event?
I see.
Well, it's just that when courting, especially to the theater, it's customary.
Though I have never observed the custom, Mr. Foster, I am aware of it.
Very well.
Am I free to leave now? Or is there more advice and wisdom you wish to bestow upon me?
That is all, miss. I'll hold my tongue for fear of causing further offense.
Miss Hallie about?
Oh, she's somewhere. Though she won't be coming through here anytime soon.
How come?
You know, I guess she's making a point.
All right, well, it's all right with you, Mr. Foster. I'd like to join you.
Be my guest. You gotta open up.
Already open.
Looks like I'm the only customer.
Yes, sir. Sure is quiet in town this afternoon, huh?
Oh, ain't anything ever going on around here, Joe? How'd you end up here?
As opposed to where, Mr. Foster?
I don't know. It just seems like Two Trees is the kind of town you pass through, not where you spend your whole life.
Well, Two Trees has been good to me. It's been a real good home to me.
When'd you come here?
I was born here, Mr. Foster. I ain't never been anywhere else. I was left as a baby in one of the rooms over at the Elite, and Miss Hallie's parents, seeing as they already had so many children, figured, what's one more mouth to feed? So they took care of me until they died, and Miss Hallie took care of me.
You take care of her.
I tried, Mr. Foster, when she lets me.
You think she enjoys reading, Joe?
Miss Hallie ain't never had time to enjoy anything. She's always had so much responsibility, she never does anything for herself. I'll rest when I'm dead, she always saying. Truth is, she made different. She's not made for keeping house or raising little ones. She go out of her mind. She likes that there's always something that needs fixing, that there's always work to be done. That's the thing she enjoys.
That she doesn't have time to enjoy anything.
Crazy, I know, sir.
Well, here's to you, Joe. To your education.
And to you, Mr. Foster, and my good luck and fortune and you stumbling across Two Trees.
Oh, I didn't stumble into this town. I was carried over a horse near dead.
Aw, you've come a long way from that now, Mr. Foster. You've made a good home for yourself here. I never thought I'd see a school here in Two Trees, and here it is.
Well, it ain't quite a school yet, but it's a start. And it's down to you.
Down to me, down to you, Mr. Foster, and down to Miss Hallie.
When the time's coming and you're ready to get out of here, where will you go?
Oh, I don't know, Mr. Foster. You know, I was thinking about what you said about holding all them books up here. I was thinking about going somewhere with all the books you could ever read. A library filled with all them words.
East then, to the cities.
Ah, yes, so, yes, sir.
Well, I'd be half tempted to join you.
What? Ain't you headed west? Why turn back?
Well, it wouldn't necessarily be turning back. Well, perhaps my journey west has come to an end. Perhaps it's time for a new journey.
That's a nice way for saying it, Mr. Foster.
Well, it's just a nice way of phrasing something meaningless. You know, I'm covering the fact that I ain't got a clue where to go or what to do next. Words of freedom and expression, adventure alive.
Oh. Well, wherever you go, will you think about Miss Hallie? She's taken a liking to you, Mr. Foster. I've known her so long, I can see it as plain as the night sky.
She humors my advances is all.
Clearly, you don't know Miss Hallie. She don't humor nobody.
She's always fighting about everything.
Yes, sir. Miss Hallie grew up with 3 big brothers. If she hadn't learned to fight, she wouldn't have stood a chance. Just because she was a girl didn't mean nothing. She was one of them, like Mowgli and the wolf.
You read it?
Yes, sir. You know, she learned to fight and had to keep fighting once they got themselves killed. She ain't never stopped, I guess. But she likes you, Mr. Foster. I'm sure of
How
it.
so?
Oh, well, she ain't been cursing half as much.
No.
Huh? She trying to be more ladylike. She even took a bath a couple of weeks back.
Didn't even notice.
Of course you didn't notice, sir. Takes more than one bath to make up for years of not washing. Can I ask you something, sir? You ever been with a lady?
You ain't a real reverend. I ain't about to start confessing my sins to you. What about Miss Hallie?
Ain't right for me to say, sir.
All right, now give me a little something. I'll share a few of my adventures.
Miss Hallie's got the temperament of a dragon. Any knights brave enough to do battle with her end up getting scorched and burnt.
Comfort, Reverend.
There was one man who claimed to have known her, and he was shooting his mouth off at the elite one night.
What did Hallie do?
Rumor has it that man rode out of town that night short of his manhood. And rumor has it Miss Hallie took it from him, keeps it preserved in a jar as a warning to others.
Jesus Christ, that can't be true.
I ain't never one to ask, sir. But if I were you and I were having dinner here, I'd avoid the pickles.
Going down the road.
Mr. Barracoon! Welcome back, sir! Drink?
I wouldn't say no to something to wash this trail dust off.
Hey, you'd be welcome to join us, Bert.
Oh, we're looking for company, Foster. Ought to go into the elite.
Here you go, Mr. Barracoon. Here you go.
Thank you, Joe.
Don't mention it, Mr. Barracoon. You know, it's a delight to have you back safely.
And how you been getting on?
Very well, sir. Mr. Foster's been teaching me the English language for the last few weeks.
So I hear. And how's Jackson?
She's well too, sir. She's learning to read and becoming more of a lady by the day.
I never knew she weren't a lady.
Sir. Oh, no, I just.
I know your meaning. So, Foster, you've been making yourself at home, I see.
I've been making myself useful as all.
Useful. I don't see no use in changing things that don't need changing. Or fixing things that ain't broke.
Mr. Foster's been teaching us and giving us an education. He don't be trying to change nothing.
Nah, that's all right, Joe.
Yeah, Joe, that's all right. Say, don't you have some cleaning to be getting on with?
Well, I guess so.
And Joe, you really ought to be more careful about drinking out in public. And there's just no point in you getting yourself in trouble.
Ain't nobody one to cause trouble, Mr. Barracoon.
Ain't there?
I guess I'll get on it.
Thanks for the drinks, Reverend.
You see the Chronicle, Foster?
This month it hasn't come out yet.
Well, I seen me a copy over in West Anvil. There's a right fine article in print about about your little school seems to have made quite a stir.
I didn't realize you could read.
Yeah, I read enough, Foster. You know, you ain't so useful to all of us around here, and, well, some folks just don't take kindly to you trying to be in the education of the West.
People threatened by storybooks, are there?
You can laugh all you want to, Foster, but you got to think about what you're doing here. Teaching a colored woman with a bunch of whites. You are asking to cause offense.
No one's taking offense.
Not here, maybe. You know, the world's a whole hell of a lot bigger than 2 trees. All that's between you and the rest of the world is a horse ride or a couple of words in a letter. Or in a newspaper now. And you got yourself some trouble.
Well, if anyone's taking offense to what's happening here, they can come deal with me.
A true American hero. You really think carrying a pea shooter around in an old sack makes you a gunslinger?
I've been practicing.
There ain't no practicing when it comes to shooting a man. Oh, you can shoot at bottles or playing cards. Hell, you might even hit a few. When a man draws down at you, that's different.
I ain't afraid to shoot a man.
You're terrified.
I ain't afraid.
Well, then good, Foster. Because Liberty's going to come for you, and then you're going to have to shoot him.
What?
I said Liberty's coming. You better be ready.
What's he want with me?
What did you think, Foster? Did you really think you could just arrive in town and start changing everything? You think everybody out there cares for your big city ways?
It's about the school?
If you bring education, Foster, they'll follow legislation, real law, government. You really think a man like Liberty Valance wants to see this territory civilized? How do you think that's going to affect his business?
It's about Joe. Because I'm teaching her because she's black.
Teaching a black woman, sure, that's it. It's the whole damn thing,
I'm
Foster!
not going to shut it down if that's what you're asking. It ain't going to run.
And you're a damn fool. Foolish and arrogant, Foster. Jeez.
You're just embellishing because you want to get rid of me. You should have just left me to die on the prairie.
You know what? When Liberty comes back for you, I'm going to pick you up again.
You ain't gonna drag me into town and leave me for Hallie to fix up. Well, seeing as I'm already here, that ain't gonna be such a problem.
You're going to put Hallie in danger, is that it? Because you know if you stay, that puts her in danger.
Hallie can take care of herself. And I never put her in harm's way.
Hallie's my girl, Foster. You remember that?
Is that so?
She's always been my girl.
Does she know that?
You better watch that smart mouth of yours before it gets smacked.
Seems strange is all.
Yeah?
Well, strange she never mentioned it. Strange you two were never together. Strange she'd be with a Neanderthal like you.
You think because you're an educated man, you're smarter than me. Is that it, Foster? You really think all them books make a blind bit of difference out here?
You ever hear the pen is mightier than the sword?
You ever seen a man holding the peacemaker go up against a man carrying a pen? What's the result? Another couple of whiskeys, Foster, and you'd have seen it firsthand. But I ain't gonna swing over the likes of you. Valance will finish the job that he started. You know what? You don't stand a snowfall's chance in hell.
I'll be happy, won't we, Bert? We'll get the girl, you get your way, and life will just go on the same.
your house that you couldn't harm. Your key and lock me in. You're the sense under the skin. I won't bring you flowers, I'll bring myself instead. Time only is time for what is meant, not what is said. Don't come knocking, don't come knocking, don't come knocking at my door. Don't come knocking, knock, knock, knocking, don't come knocking no more.
Well, good evening, Mr. Foster.
Evening, Joe.
Very smart, Mr. Foster. You look just the part.
Ain't it about time you quit with the Foster bit? Rants will do.
Oh, yes, sir.
Miss Hallie Bell?
Oh, I don't know. She's been up there getting ready all afternoon.
She has?
So what's the matter? You afraid you ain't made enough of an effort?
Well, now I am.
Ain't you brought her no flowers or nothing?
Flowers?
Well, Miss Hallie.
Well, there ain't no floors.
Flowers?
To buy the flowers.
But round here, you just pick them out of the ground.
I didn't think.
It's all right. She probably didn't know you meant to bring any anyway.
Jesus Christ.
Miss Hallie.
Good evening, Mr. Foster.
Miss Hallie.
All right. Don't stand there gawking. Ain't you seen a girl in a dress before?
Yeah, well, sure, I just wasn't expecting such a... Well, you know this.
Did you look at that, Reverend? Seems we have ourselves a miracle. Mr. Foster has run out of words.
Oh, Miss Hallie, you look so pretty in that dress.
It was my mother's.
I don't remember seeing it.
We never had cause to wear it. And you'll be all right there this evening?
I'll be fine. You have a nice time.
We'll have a whiskey, Mr. Foster. We'll see if that can revive you of your transfixed state. If that don't work, I'm sure we got some of that hot sauce knocking about.
Oh, that won't be necessary. I feel quite fine.
Oh, what a shame, Reverend. It has found the power of speech once more.
Well, we better get along or we'll miss the stage.
All right, let's get it over and done with. You have a good evening, Reverend.
You too, miss. And you too, Mr. Foster. Oh, Rance. Good luck. He's gonna need it. I sing because I'm happy. Oh, well, help yourself. Yes, I sing because I'm happy. Oh, yes, I sing. Because I'm free, His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches me.
Nice place you got here. And you are?
Mostly. Joe Mostly.
Joe Mosen, huh? It's a nice place, Joe. Say, you don't mind me and my boys come in and have a drink real quick, do you?
No, sir.
Thank you. So, Joe, where's the tenderfoot?
Who?
Why don't you come have a seat, Joe? Come on, Joe. Come over here and have a drink with me. Come on, drink. Drink! So, Joe, where is the tenderfoot?
He ain't here.
Where is he?
Gone out of town, sir.
Where?
Don't know where.
Play dice, Joe?
What game?
Ah, there we go. Charlie, bring us some dice. How about liar's dice? You know the rules?
I believe I do, sir.
Well, it's really quite simple. There's 10 dice on the table. You look at yours, I look at mine, then we both take bets guessing how many or what number across the whole table. Each bet has to be higher until the other one thinks the other's bluffing. I think you're bluffing. I call you a liar. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, right? After you, Joe.
I got 2 threes.
Oh, at least 2 threes. That's easy. 3 threes. So, Joe, tell me, where has the tenderfoot gone?
3 fours. Gone out of town, sir. Didn't say where.
3 fives. Is he coming back anytime soon?
As far as I know, sir. 4 5.
4 fives? No. I do not think so, Joe. I'm calling your bluff, you little old liar. Show me your dice.
I got 2 fives.
I only got the 1. 3's not enough, Joe. Lose 1. Now, I bet that there's at least 2 ones in there. Now, Joe, tell me, is you the Negro that's been learning how to read around this joint?
Yes, sir.
Do you read anything good?
Yes, sir. 2 twos.
3 twos. You read the newspapers at all?
Yes, sir.
You read anything about little old me in them newspapers?
Yes, sir.
So you know who I am.
Yes.
You know who I am, and yet you agree to sit at a table with me, share a drink with me, a game, even. It's your bet, by the way, Joe.
3 threes.
You know who I am, yet you agree to play a game of dice with me.
I didn't feel I had a choice, sir.
Joe. You don't feel safe playing dice with me?
Four sixes.
I like that, Joe. I like it a lot. I bet 5 sixes.
Six sixes.
6 sixes! There's only 9 dice on the table, and you're gonna say 6 sixes? Ooh, boy. Oh, you got some nerve, you know that? You've got some nerve. You've got some nerve. I bet 7 sixes. Now go ahead and call my bluff, Joe. 9 dice on the table and 7 of them are sixes. Come on, Joe, call my bluff.
Eight sixes.
Nine sixes. Now go on, Joe. Call my bluff. Come on, Joe, do it. Call my bluff. Look at me, call me a liar. Come on, Joe, call me a liar. Call me a liar, Joe. Do it. Do it. Call me a liar. Call me a liar. Call me a liar, Joe. Call me a liar. Call me a liar, Joe. Call me a liar. Call me a liar, Joe. Call me a liar. Call me a liar. You call me a goddamn liar!
What did they do with you, old man? Listen to me, Hallie. I've seen that fire in your eyes before, and I know what you're
Is
like.
that so?
And you're gonna get yourself killed. Obviously, the old man don't mean nothing to a son of a bitch like Bounce. He will shoot you down and string you up all the
He
same.
ain't gonna get the chance.
Damn, you don't even know how to use that thing.
You stand in my way. You'll find
I
out.
don't even know for sure that it was him that
Cameron,
killed me.
you lead sergeant!
Could have been any number of men who have caused him trouble like this.
Take the person who knows well as that Balance is to blame.
Call for the marshal.
Talking like a fool ain't making any of this easier fair when the marshal has had cause enough to bring liberty to justice yet. He ain't done it. No one has done it.
I know you're angry, darling. I know
You
you're
ain't got no goddamn clue how I feel. They murdered her. You hear me? Murdered. They murdered Joe.
I don't know.
Joe.
I don't know.
We grew up together. I known her my whole life. She was my best friend. Bert, you ain't got no clue how I feel. You were a selfish, stubborn old man who cared for himself.
And Hallie, now you know that ain't true.
Ain't it?
You know how I care for you.
Oh, Jesus, Bert.
I've tried hard as hell to say this, but Lord knows you ain't made it easy for me.
No.
The timing just don't seem right.
Does it seem right now?
We don't have to talk about this now. Just let it be. Go on and grieve. Right?
You need to do something for me.
Anything?
I want you to burn down that tree. Don't just chop it down, don't just pull it down, burn it, destroy it.
Of course.
No. Well, I mean, if I ever have to look on that tree again, I don't think I'll ever get that image out of my mind.
Let's get it going.
Thank you, Bert.
All right. So sorry. Where the hell have you been?
I was helping them.
Then what the hell are you doing here now?
I don't know.
Well, then I suggest you get, because you have caused enough goddamn trouble for one night.
All right, Bert. Have a drink, Foster. Will you do as I asked?
Sure thing, yes.
Say, I never meant to.
Meant for what?
You know what I'm saying, Hallie? I never wanted anything like this to happen.
He wanted to show off. He knew you wanted to stand up and show how brave and smart you are. That would don't frighten me. Well, the smart man should be frightened. The smart man should hardly be able to close his eyes for fear because the smart man knows what's coming. You tell me. You weren't pleased with yourself getting this big old reputation. You were arrogant, Foster. You're just a person. You came here from your big cities. You think that means something to folk out here? Don't tell me shit. You think reading Latin and Greek is going to protect you against the man who will go?
I'm sorry,
Oh, you're
Hallie.
goddamn right! Bert told you that Alex was after you. He warned you to get out before someone got hurt.
He did.
Why didn't you go? You are an arrogant son of a bitch.
I've done wrong. I'll make it up.
I think you can raise a woman from the grave. There ain't nothing you can offer. Joe's dead. There ain't nothing you can do to fix that.
You're right. And I am sorry. I hold myself responsible for Joe's death, and I gotta make it right as best I can. Nothing I can do to bring her back. But I gotta try and make it right.
You make it right by getting out of town. Leave this place. Don't think on us again.
If I leave now, Joe's death will hang over me wherever I go. I ain't leaving till Liberty faces justice. that means I have to face it myself.
You face liberty. The only way you leave Two Trees is in a wooden box.
Well, then at least I'll have done my piece. Then perhaps I'll have your forgiveness.
Perhaps.
Miss Jackson?
The barrier.
Yes, miss.
Open yourself a bottle of it.
Thank you, miss.
You didn't hold the service?
What for?
Show our respect.
When the sun comes up, the ground will roast and the flies will swarm. I pay my respects by not putting Joe through that suffering. The poor girl suffered enough.
Amen.
All the same, it would have been nice to say a few words.
But what? They're gonna make a difference now! Actions will make a difference!
Marshal Johnson, will you allow me a moment?
Go ahead, Mr. Foster.
It was Liberty Valance who murdered Joe.
That your theory?
It is.
Got any proof? Anyone see him? Anyone see anything?
I don't know. Ain't that your job to ask?
Well, I did. Seems nobody saw anything.
Maybe they're afraid of Valance to admit what they saw.
Make your point, Mr.
Look, we both know it was Valance who did this.
I only know what I see. A young Negro strung up, God rest her soul. And no witness to the crime.
You said there's a bounty out for Valance.
He started a brawl over in Black Rock, amongst other things.
We'll bring him in for that.
It's only a small-time bounty. He's clever, as our Liberty. He never gets caught for anything but getting the rope. It's a small-time bounty, and I ain't getting shot over no small-time bounty. You? Seems not.
What's the law if I go up against him?
You're the law scholar, you tell me.
Just answer the question. What's my position if I go up against him?
You get yourself killed.
And let's say I don't.
As long as it's a fair fight. As long as it's just you and it's just him and he's got a loaded gun in his hand, you'll be all right. You'd even be able to claim the reward. That is, if you were still standing, which we know there ain't no way in hell it's possible. You want some advice, son?
Think I should just run?
You ain't as dumb as I took you to be.
How much for a gun belt?
A fistful of coin.
Put a voucher on it.
All right, I'll take your word. Give him yours.
You want I should just hand him over mine right now?
I ain't fussed! Who hands me over a gun?
Then here you go, gunslinger.
Spread the word, gentlemen. Let Liberty know that I'm here and I ain't going nowhere. And next time he comes to town looking for trouble, you tell him I'll be waiting.
The lad has a death wish. Damn fool. But at least you'll get your gun belt back.
That's enough. Car's closed.
Very well, Miss Jackson. We appreciate your hospitality and sorry for your loss.
Then keep marching. done.
It's done.
Thank you, Bert.
You're welcome, Hallie. You're always welcome.
Sorry for what I've said before. You've always been kind to me. You've always looked out for me, I know.
Well, girl, I'm just glad to hear you say it. Come on.
I know I have never made it easy on you. You know, to talk honestly, I am sorry for that too. I never gave you a chance to speak your thought.
Hey, don't go talking like it's all gone and done. Fine ain't over till it's over.
I know what you're trying to say, Bert.
We got time, haven't we? We still got a chance. Ain't we? Well, hell.
Sorry, Bert. Lord knows I'm sorry.
Shit, I always saw you as my girl. I just figured it were just a matter of waiting.
There was a time when that statement would have held true.
And what's changed? Oh, Lord, don't tell me he's a scholar!
No, it seems crazy.
Well, I heard crazier in my time.
Honestly, I ain't never pictured falling for a man like him before.
I ain't never been with a man like him before.
It's not.
Well, that ain't what you just told him, is it?
What?
I seen the man marching through town, gun belt and revolver in hand. Well, look at his eyes to kill a man. I'm guessing you ain't told him what you just told me.
You guessed right.
Oh, Lord. Listen to me, Hallie. As much as I wouldn't mind seeing that sucker cut in two, as much as I regret bringing him in off the prairie now, you don't want to see that man dead. You do as I say. You tell him how you feel. You do that or ain't nothing going to save him.
Bless you, Bert American, but I said some awful things to that man just now.
Yeah, well, that I can't imagine.
I'm a damn fool. He's gonna go and try to make things right on my account.
Well, then you convince him otherwise.
He's proud, Bert. He's almost as proud as stubborn.
Then try to make him see reason.
And if he won't,
Well, then let's hope he knows how to aim that pea shooter of his.
can you not help him?
You know I can't come between Foster and Valance. They'll string me up for murder if it ain't a fair fight, and Liberty knows better than to find agreements with
You
me.
can teach him how to shoot.
That could take months or years, Hallie. God knows if he's ever been held a gun
You
before.
can at least give him a fighting chance. If he's gonna learn, it best be from you. Everyone knows you are the best shot north of Canyon Falls.
Flattery don't look right on me, Hallie. But I will do what I can. You just try and get him to leave town. I don't want you blaming me if he goes off and takes a shot at Valance and ends up blowing off his own goddamn foot.
Thank you, Bert.
And you're wrong about me being the best shot in North Canyon Falls. I'm the best damn shot north of Mexico, and that's only because I ain't never been to blessed Mexico.
That night, Ransom Foster hardly slept as he lay thinking on the events of the day and those to come. Would he ever forgive himself? Would he live to even have the chance? This dude from the east arrived in town a nobody, battered and broken. But whatever was to come, he knew one thing. He would not leave the same way. Even if he were to die, he'd die in the name of justice. And is there any nobler cause?
Foster.
What are you doing here?
Waiting for you.
Yeah, well, I got word Hallie wanted to see me. Is she around?
I'm sure she's around somewhere, but I wanted you and I to have a little chat.
I thought I was here to see Hallie.
How's your aim with that gun?
None of your concern.
I'm making it my concern. How's your damn aim?
Slow and steady.
You been practicing?
What's it to you? What do you care if I can shoot straight or not?
Look! If you'd asked me, I'd have been able to help you. But you didn't want no helping. Man should not be ashamed to ask for help from somebody who knows better.
I am ashamed.
Then I asked for my help.
What?
Damn it, would you just ask me to help you learn?
All right, help me.
See? Was that so damn hard? Stand with your back to the bottle. Take 10 paces forward. Turn around, see if you can hit it.
Nine steps.
That'll do, Foster.
Shit. It's empty.
Empty? I could have been somebody else in here waiting for you and your goddamn gun's empty?
Yeah, well, when somebody else is here, it won't be.
Oh, fuck. What the hell? That. Yes. Give me down. Slow and steady.
There's a lot of pressure.
Think about how much pressure there's going to be when that bottle can shoot back. Foster, will you do me a favor? And keep your eyes open when you fire. Don't close them. Now stand with your feet apart. Now I want you to take a deep breath in and let it out when you pull the trigger, but squeeze it, Foster. Don't yank it. You're going to throw your aim off. Now, try it again. Okay, I reckon you're getting closer. Loosen up your hand. Keep your fingers relaxed. Now, try it again. You're getting there.
What in the hell are you doing?
Like the ass, we're learning the machine.
What goddamn saloon?
It's either gonna place it in.
What, she put you up to this?
I'm guessing you need to talk.
Does she think I ain't up to this?
You know what? This is absolutely none of my business. I will see myself out.
Why did you want him to help you?
What'd you think, Rance?
In case it didn't run, might come in handy.
I hope to persuade you. Sometimes there ain't no shame in running. There are things I wish I'd run from. There ain't no shame in that.
Yeah, well, when people keep telling you there's nothing to feel ashamed of, you start thinking it might
Will you
be.
sit with me? Will you talk? When something happens, like last night, I always find myself apologizing for things I said, for people I hurt. There's a part of me wish I could learn to stop myself before I do it. When I'm angry, it's best just to stay silent. Don't nothing good come out when I'm in a rage.
You trying to take back what you said?
I can't do that. I already said it, but I can say something new, something different, and I hope it'll make a difference.
What you said is the truth. I did this. I'm responsible for what happened.
I asked you to teach Jo. I asked you to do it, and she wanted to learn. These last few weeks were the happiest I have ever known her.
At what cost? Was it worth it?
It's the things that come make it so. He once asked me if I never wanted to discover adventures from people beyond my own life. The things your books can offer. In her life, she got more adventure. She traveled farther than anyone else in this backwater town. You gave her that.
Appreciate you saying that.
Now you go and get yourself shot. Where does that help anyone? How does that help Jo? How does that help you?
It ain't gonna do no harm.
Of course it
Look,
does.
I'm a nobody. Just a traveler. A failed scholar with a bunch of books. No family. No life. No one's to be harmed by my demise. And who knows, maybe I'll even take Valence with me.
You know, for an educated man, you sure can be damn stupid, Foster.
Yeah?
No one can suffer from your temper. You're too stupid to realize how wrong you are, too blind to see what's going on here.
You brought me here to try and tell me how stupid I am and try and change my mind.
I come so I can tell you how I feel about you. And for some ungodly reason, Ransom Foster, I love you. If you don't say something back right now, Valence ain't gonna get the chance to shoot you. I will wring your neck with my bare hands.
I don't know what to say.
Oh, you have a habit, Mr. Foster, of choosing the most inopportune times to turn you.
What do you want me to say?
Take a wild guess.
All right, I love you also.
Jesus, don't sound so damn miserable about it. Ain't like you caught the plague.
I don't know when it happened or how. Considering you ain't never said a kind word to me. But I have fallen for you, Hallie. Almost so much that I'd stay in this God-forsaken town if that meant staying with you. I thought I might be able
To what?
to show you something of the East. Maybe take you back one day and make a life of ourselves.
Yeah?
That ain't good. I could see that. I'm not from around here. I don't fit in. With 2 trees, the prairie belle, with you. And you don't care for the things that I care for. Books and education. Look, books are my family and friends because I ain't never had anything else. But you've got family. And friends. And in this town, it's who you are.
It don't have to be. I will go with you, Foster. Tonight I will pack up and leave if it'll stop you going against Valence, getting yourself killed. I had family in 2 trees. They're all dead. My folks, my brothers, and now Jo. I ain't gonna let you die too.
You give up everything just to protect me.
I would. No, I will. You just asked me to. I will.
Just to protect me?
To protect me as well, to protect us both.
To make you my wife.
I expect that.
Yes.
I'll agree to marriage if you agree to leave tonight. You know that sonnet that you made me learn?
Yeah.
My sweet love remembered such wealth brings that I scored to change my state of kings.
I knew you understood the meaning of that poem. Why did you pretend?
I knew the meaning of that sonnet. You really won.
Won what?
Me.
Kinda hoped you'd have already left, Foster.
That's all right, Bird. I won't be needing any more lessons. Not by the
I have no idea how true that statement is.
Well, what's going on, Bert?
Well, it seems his message He was strutting around town like a goddamn peacock with that gun strap that spread fast. Real fast. Bounce is in town. He's interested in the dude that anyone can kick around. This here tenderfoot boasts how he can read Latin.
It's all right, go out the back way, get into the brushwork, and bring you a horse. You can get out as far as these.
No good. Valance brought his boys with him. All
Well,
of them.
they come into town, Rance gets out, he'll be safe.
They ain't coming into
So
town.
what if they ain't coming into
They
town?
ain't coming in so they can keep an eye all around. You try and run, Foster.
And they shoot me. And if I stay?
Valance shoots you. Tough choice.
Bert, there's gotta be something.
I'm sorry, Dolly. All this talk.
Jesus, Bert, there's gotta be something.
Sorry.
Help me all you can. This is my mess. I'm done.
What is this, Foster?
Look, I know and I appreciate it. How much time I got?
How long he's on foot? A minute, two at the most.
Deep breath. Eyes open.
Fingers relaxed. Real gun ain't gonna hurt you much.
Jesus, I can't watch this.
Helen. Helen. Helen! You look after her.
Of course.
You're a good man, Bert Bearcoon.
Save it, Foster. Pour you a drink. Help calm your nerves. Might go collect the marshal. Make sure there's a fair fight. Valance comes in here. Try not to provoke it. Give you a chance to get back. Good luck, Foster.
Thanks.
Hi. I don't believe we've had the pleasure.
That before?
Oh, we've not been properly introduced.
Your name's Liberty Van.
Correct! Well done. You seem to have me at a disadvantage, sir, seeing as how you know who I am and I do not know you.
If you do not know me, then what issue can you have with me? Or with my friends?
You've mistook my meaning, sir. You see, I know who you are. But I want your name.
Don't you read the papers?
Don't you? You know, I hear that they say in them papers that I ain't too nice a fellow. Then what would you reckon, Mr.
On our first encounter, you had me beaten and left for dead.
Is that so?
Last night, you rode into town and you murdered my friend.
That don't sound like something a nice fellow would do.
You murdered her.
I didn't touch
You
her.
had her murdered.
All right, all right. We go back and forth around in circles like this all night long, up and down, all around. Two educated men with a what you call it? A gift of the gab, right?
You may speak eloquently. You may even read a little, but do not pretend you are an educated man. You're a vicious dog that's turned feral. You bite at anything that threatens you, and you surround yourself with pathetic mongrels who make you feel important.
Not tonight. Tonight I've surrounded you with those mongrels.
What happens when you don't walk back out to me?
That's a very good question. Perhaps I'm not so educated a man after all, seeing as how I've not planned out for such a scenario. No, I like to save a drink for after I kill the man.
You have a drink like you had Joe strung up?
Ooh-wee. Oh my. What is your obsession with this Negro anyway?
She was my friend.
Ah, yes, you was teaching her how to read and write, correct? She a good student, was she? She do all her homework?
Whatever grievance you have with me, it didn't involve her. Joe didn't need to die.
Two trees ain't like the city's friend. Everybody here is related by blood, friendship, love, even by hate.
Joe didn't need to die.
Perhaps not. But hey, certainly added something to our little story of ours, didn't it? Certainly got your attention anyway.
Your mind is diseased, Valance. Take pleasure in the act.
Pleasure? No, sir. All of this is just business. Mostly. See, you come into my territory, you bring your laws and your legislation and your equality. That just ain't good for my business.
Is that so?
An organization like mine would struggle under the weight of such bureaucracy.
Would that be such a bad thing?
People came out here to get away from such things, sir. They came out here seeking gold, hope, liberty. And liberty's what they're going to get.
You can't fight it forever, Valance. You can try and scare someone off every once in a while. You might even win a few rounds, but the law will come. Government will come. Whether you like it or not.
It's just a matter of time.
That's right.
I want you to listen to me, friend. And one day, I'm gonna be an old man. And I won't be fit for this line of work no more. When that time comes around, I'm gonna be a rich man. I'll have myself a woman, but most likely a few women. And I will be living a life that everyone dreams of and slaves for, and I will never have worked, nor toiled, nor sweat, nor bled a single day in my life, and I will never have bent my knee to anyone and called them boss man. Oh, yes, Mr. Boss Man. No, Mr. Boss Man. Please, Mr. Boss Man, I have to go potty.
Something ain't made to follow!
But one day, in the autumn of my years, when your senators and your politicians come stumbling into town, I will simply tip my hat and say to them, "Gentlemen, welcome. Finally, you have brought civilization to us heathen savages."
Want to know what I think?
I'm just dying to.
You're not going to live to see that day.
Well, you sure as hell ain't gonna be the one to stop me.
Probably not.
Does that make you sad?
It's sad now. Angry, perhaps.
Angry? No. There is no room for anger at all. Clouds the vision, makes the hands tremble. No room for anger or any kind of emotion like that in this little game of ours.
Game.
I don't mean to mess with your plight nor mine, sir, but you see, all of this is just a game. We just ended up on opposite sides of the board.
It isn't a game when good men lose their lives. It isn't a game when sisters lose their brothers.
Well, I have offended.
Worlds destroyed by your actions.
Worlds destroyed! My, oh my, you are quite the orator, sir. Have you ever considered running for public office? You would have my vote for certain.
Perhaps I'd make a difference.
Perhaps, but you'd have to do something about that nasty angry streak of yours. No room for that in politics whatsoever.
Stop pointing all this talk when you're just going to turn your gun on me, is there?
Now there you go. We were having ourselves a perfectly gentlemanly conversation, and then you have to go and spoil it with your vulgar talk of death. Can two men not have a proper conversation even in the light of such an impending event?
You're trying to make me lose my nerves? Talk to me nicely so that I think it ain't gonna end how it is. And then I get that sense of relief and realize how much I don't want to die. And then I beg for my life, for mercy.
Yeah.
Well, it ain't gonna be like that. I've never been in this situation before, but I've read enough stories to know how it goes. It's a classic situation. Two enemies walking to meet each other on a western road. What other reasons other men have had, I'll never know.
You know the scene well, my friend.
I know many things very well. And there are many things I'll never know.
Now there just ain't no time left, is there? Yeah, I know that feeling. Felt it the first time I faced a man. If I'm to be real honest, I felt it the first dozen times. But hey, you get used to it if you're given the chance, of course. But you lived a good life, haven't you?
I have no complaints.
Ah, yes. To have lived and to die young. Dying, sir, there is no fear in dying. Growing old, that's the thing to fear.
Do you give death much thought?
I have given life much thought, sir. I have taken it from so many men, it's only right to do so.
You remember the names of the lives you've taken?
Some names, never faces. All dead men look alike to me.
Why do you kill?
Why do others not? We have the tools to take life so easily.
not for pleasure, not for hatred, but to take lives to benefit our own. What are a few worthless lives compared to one great one?
Is my life worthless?
I'm not your judge.
Just the executioner.
There you go again. That's that quick wit of yours. I don't know. Perhaps your life isn't worthless. I don't know. You're an educated man, yes? You're a kind man, I assume? But you do not make the most of your potential, and this is wasteful.
How do you presume to know this?
Because you're here! In 2 trees! All the fine places this country has to offer, and you're here! Why? When you were a child, and you'd imagine what you would do with your life, did you picture yourself here? Did you picture yourself sitting in that chair, an absolute loser, sitting and talking to the man who would end your life? You know, most men, they fear dying in the same place they was born, never having any adventures whatsoever, but not me. Nope, not me, sir. I'd be afraid to be like you, like all the other stupid men in this town, alone, useless, pathetic, where your entire history spans the months that you rolled off a couch into a bottle of whiskey and realized that you ain't got no better place to go. To die in this place where no one cares about you except if you ain't paid the bill.
People here care about me.
Where are they?
If you die, who'll be there for you?
If I die. Unless the hand of God comes down and strikes me dead where I stand, that's not going to happen anytime soon.
Or the earth opens up and the devil takes you under.
Nope. Nope. He and I, we have an agreement.
You believe that?
Of course not. I don't go for any of that. What about you? You don't strike me as a religious man.
No.
Well, that's a shame. Now would be a good time to have some faith, something to believe in beyond all this.
As much I believe in. But I know that when I die, this is over. False hope will offer me no comfort now.
I respect that. It's always so disappointing killing a religious man. He's always got this crazy look in his eyes, like there's something better. Now, I would love to be there the moment when he realizes that there ain't nothing more.
Ransom Foster.
What?
My name. Ransom Foster. If you win or if you lose, I'd like you to know it all the same.
Ransom Foster. Your name is Ransom Foster. The son of a bitch even sounds like a gentleman. Anyway, shall we?
You want to step outside?
I don't see why. As you say, there's a sense of cliche about it. Besides, you fall down dead here, much cleaner your clothes will be. Make it a lot easier to pretty you all up in your coffin. You haven't made arrangements yet?
I have not.
Really? Well then, I hope you don't mind what they end up doing with you. Me, on the other hand, I got myself a little plot picked out underneath an old oak tree to the north of my land. It's very idyllic.
take this gun, put it in your holster, and you face me. Ransom Foster.
Don't you want to witness?
Oh, you'll be witness enough for me, Mr. Foster. Ready?
To die?
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Last words.
Cowards die many deaths before their deaths. The valiant taste of death but once. Of all the wonders in the world that I yet have known, it seems to me most strange that men should fear, being that death, a necessary end, will come when it will come.
In the days that followed the shooting of Liberty Valance, the wound in Ransom Foster's shoulder began to heal. The story began to spread. In the weeks that came, that story became legend. And Foster found himself, for the first time in his life, the subject of his own great adventure. Why, his reputation grew to such a degree that one day Bert Barricue suggested that Foster might run for governor of the territory. Oh. Well, never before or since has an election campaign been fought with such ease. A man of law, of courage, and principle, a man of justice. Governor Foster became the new face of the frontier. And men like Bert Barricue, merely old relics of a time gone by.
Governor Foster,
Marshal?
came to offer my congratulations. I always knew you were a man of potential.
Is that so?
Oh, Mr. Foster, you're not going to go holding all that business with balance against me.
Should I?
You'll come to understand that a man of authority and responsibility needs to choose his battles.
Is that, your advice for office?
Well, it ain't wise to go fighting every fight.
Just the ones you can win.
Exactly.
You know, when I get to Black Rock, I'm gonna fight every fight. The balances of the world will no longer be protected by people's fear.
Oh, it weren't fear that kept me from going after him.
You know, next time someone comes to town with a grievance, you remember the events that took place here.
Oh, I know how to do my job, Mr. Foster.
You wouldn't even show when Valance arrived.
What?
If Bert came to get you to make sure it was a fair fight, you wouldn't even show.
First I knew that Valance was in town is when I heard your shots.
No, Bert came to get you well before any shots were fired.
First I saw Barracoon was when he arrived here, and by that time you were out cold with lead in your shoulder, and Valance was dead.
Well, that doesn't add up.
Well, thank your stars you're alive. You know, I'll be the first to admit that I didn't think much of your chances against Valance, but you proved me wrong. You proved us all wrong, and now you've been rewarded for that.
You think I'm governor because I killed an outlaw. I'm governor because I have an education in law.
Tell yourself that, Mr. Foster. Truth is, folk around here vote for the man that'll protect them and their way of life. Legend has it you're a man to be feared.
That's not the man I am.
You're the man in the story, and that's the man the people voted for.
You think that's how politics work? Who'd you kill to get elected?
Does it matter?
I'm gonna miss the way you folk work around here.
No, Black Rock ain't so much bigger.
No, but Washington is.
Oh, you got your sights aimed pretty high, Mr. Foster.
If you need anything, you know where to find me.
Oh, I think we'll get by on our own just fine.
Thanks for all the help, Marshal.
I think that's what clever folk call sarcasm.
You should have taken one of my classes. Perhaps you're not as dumb as I thought.
Now, perhaps. You take care of yourself, Governor, and don't go getting yourself shot.
Careful, Foster. I know your reputation with those things. I hear you're leaving town today.
Just waiting on the stage.
I'm to say my farewells to Hallie.
You asking my permission?
I don't believe I am.
Those flowers for her?
They ain't for you.
What'd you do with the casings?
What casings?
From the shots I took at Liberty.
Why?
Well, I should have liked to have kept them as a memento.
Well, then I guess I'd have dropped them when I reloaded.
And how many shots did I get off before I fell unconscious?
How the hell would I know that, Foster?
Right, you were off getting the marshal.
You want to make your point?
What are you boys squabbling about now? How can there possibly be anything left for you two to argue about?
Nothing. You know us.
Never could see eye to eye on anything.
Well, give it a rest, will ya? The coach will be here before sunset. We gotta get everything sorted.
That's a mighty fine dress there, Jackson.
Oh, Bert.
Well, it ain't Jackson anymore. It's Foster.
Is that so?
Rance.
This is Ransom Foster.
Rance. You give us a minute.
Gonna head over to Black Rock to send off a telegram. You two be.
I'm sorry, Bert.
Why should you? You don't owe me nothing.
At least an explanation?
You're in love with a man, that's got to be explanation enough.
He wanted us to arrive in Black Rock together as husband and wife.
And I'm sure you made a beautiful bride.
I know things ain't worked out like we wanted them to. Like you planned, and I am sorry for that.
Hallie, please, let's not do this. It ain't like we both know I didn't have this coming.
I told him I would marry him if he left town before Valentine
I
had to.
know.
I thought he was going to die that day, Bert. I'm sure if he faced Valentine, he would be a dead man. I was wrong. Someone was looking out for him that day. Someone was watching over. I don't believe it's fate, Bert. You know that, but there's got to be some reason things ended the way they did. This is my chance to get out of here. A chance for something better. If I don't take it now, I don't know if I'll get another shot.
I didn't come here to try and convince you otherwise, Hallie. I just came to say goodbye.
You are a good man, Bert.
So I have been told.
There will always be a place in my heart for you. You know that.
You don't go wasting your time thinking on me, Hallie. You got a whole life ahead of you now, don't waste your thoughts on an old cowboy.
Those flowers for me.
Well, I know how you like them.
The cactus blossom.
From the prickly pear.
They're perfect.
Well, I don't expect you'll be getting handed many of them where you're going. So.
But there ain't no bouquet anywhere on earth could rock them.
Two trees won't forget you, Hallie. You go on now and you make us proud.
You know, I sure am going to miss this dump.
You go on now. You get out of here.
Well, I'm going to miss you too, old man.
Go on.
I love you, Bert Barracoon.
I thought I told you to get. Jackson.
See you around.
No, you won't.
Farewells.
Ain't you left yet, Foster?
I wanted to talk with you.
Haven't we done enough talking? No, I swear. I don't recollect ever talking to one man so much about so little.
I need to know where you went that night.
I told you where I went.
Tell me again.
I went to collect the marshal, Foster.
You were with the marshal when the shots were fired.
What are you getting at?
The marshal says you never arrived.
Well, then I guess I must have been on my way to him when I heard the shots and turned right around.
One last drink.
Don't mind if I do.
I wasn't afraid to die.
Foster, nobody said you was.
I never thought I'd end up facing my own death knowingly. I'm not that kind of man. For some reason, I don't know why, it gave me a sense of calm. I knew I was going to die, and this calm feeling just flowed all over me. I felt all the fear just slide away.
I've heard of that.
And then I remember the confusion of looking down at my hand and seeing the tremble. It was like all the fear had washed away from my mind and it was caught in my fingers.
That's understandable, Foster.
Imagine my further confusion when I wake up bloodied and bandaged. And I'm told Valance is dead at my hands. My trembling hand.
Foster, I've heard queer tales.
3 shots were fired that night on all accounts.
You must have gotten them first 2 shots off real fast.
Real fast.
You know, it is amazing what a man is capable of when he is facing death.
Isn't it? You know, a little doubt is easily settled when everyone's telling you how it all went down. You don't ask all the right questions, and soon enough, that itching thought is so far in the back of your mind, you don't ask. Soon enough, you just accept what you're told. And if it wasn't for my conversation with the marshal this evening, I do believe I'd have never known what truly happened.
And would that have been such a bad thing?
But I'd have never known why.
And obvious.
Not to me.
Miss Hallie Jackson.
If Liberty had been left to his devices, I'd have been dead and gone. She'd have been all yours.
You know, I may not have your sophistication, Governor, but I am capable of some human emotion. You award me that little credit at least.
I thought you loved her.
I love her! More than you'll ever know. If you loved her the way that I did, you know why I did it.
You know, there's a decent reward out for Valance.
You ain't gonna collect it.
No?
You didn't kill Liberty Valance.
But I hear they buried him.
Liberty fired once. You fired once. And missed.
And then you fired once from outside the door.
I don't miss.
You know, the story spread a long way. And my name, it means something around here. And this was all I had to be proud of.
You faced him, Foster. You went up against Liberty Valance. Now that's more than most men could say. You can hold your head high for that.
But it's a lie.
Ah, jeez.
And one day, I want to go back east, to Washington. And bloodied hands here might help. But in Washington, this story will only be a hindrance to my career. All it takes is one word.
And I get the rope. I know it.
Perhaps it'd show lenience, given the circumstance.
You know the law, Governor. Cold-blooded, ain't no two ways about it.
You reckon I got elected because I killed him, because they think I killed him.
I reckon you're a stubborn man, Foster. You'd be whatever you wanted to be. Valance's death only sped up the process.
All it takes is one word. And the truth will be out there, my slate will be clean.
Sure will.
So why shouldn't I?
For the same reason I gave you, Foster. Miss Hallie Jackson.
Yeah?
I ain't gonna beg for my life. Lord knows I ain't been no friend to you. Oh, hell, I dragged you in off the prairie, but I'd have done that for the lowest scum that crawled. But I wish I hadn't. I wish you would never come to Two Trees. I wish Hallie was still my girl, and that everything had gone the way that I planned it. Now, I know I don't mean as much to Hallie as you do. If I had let Valance kill you, I'd have broken her heart. And if you let me swing for it, that's going to break her heart all the same. I could not bear to be the cause of her pain when I risked so much to spare her of it.
You really loved her.
Jesus. She's the only thing that I ever cared about.
Won't be needing this anymore.
You don't reckon?
Oh, no. I'm not going to carry another gun in my life, even if it kills me.
I don't reckon it will, Foster. Liberty sure as hell couldn't.
All right, Bert. I'll keep the girl. You get your life. And forevermore I'll be the man who shot Liberty Valance.
Friend of mine. He was a friend of mine. Every time I think of him, I just can't keep from crying, because he was a friend of mine.
And so it was. Years passed. Governor and Mrs. Foster settled well into their new life in Black Rock until it was time to move on. East. Back to the road rats had left all those years before. He'd gone west to nobody. Nothing to his name except some old Mississippi coins. He returned, a great politician, to take his seat in the United States Senate. He returned with a loving wife and two loving children. He returned with everything he could ever have wished for. And it was all thanks to one man.
Every time I think of him, I just can't keep from crying, because he was a friend of mine.
It's getting late. I never thought I'd say it, but I can't wait to get home.
Back to Washington.
I know. Time has changed a lot of things. It's just too quiet now, that silence.
You don't miss it here?
Perhaps sometimes. But I miss how it was then, not how it is now. If I stayed, I'd just be another stranger. There's no place for me here now.
No more than it was for me all those years ago.
That all worked out somehow.
That it did.
You haven't ever mentioned Bert since we left Two Trees. In all these years, you haven't mentioned him even once.
Guess not.
Why'd you want to come here today? After all this time, I did not expect it.
Well, I owed it to Bert.
Owed it.
He saved my life.
On the prairie. The day he picked you up off the prairie. He was a good man.
You ever wonder what your life would be like had I lost to Liberty that day?
Sometimes at night I wake up with my hands trembling from a nightmare. A dream of that bullet in your shoulder and it's just a few inches to the left in your chest.
Never said anything.
No, it isn't anything. It's just a bad dream.
Still, you wonder what your life would be like now without me?
You mean with him?
Yes.
I have no regrets, Rance.
He's a good man.
Let's get some rest. Only a few hours before the train comes.
I'll be along in a minute.
Don't mourn for Bert. He lived a good life.
He didn't have anything.
I guess he never wanted much.
Wonder where those prickly pear blossoms came from.
Good for me.
Oh?
There, thank you. To Bert.
Thank you for what?
For saving your life.
Out on the prairie.
Sure.
Who was this old man to send us Foster? Who had he been? Well, Rance could never give the true answer. He was my enemy. He was my conscience. He made me whatever I have become.